Hello there, welcome or welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hi, my name is Samantha and this is my channel where I talk all about books. Anyway, today I'm coming to you with, as I'm sure you can tell by the title of this video, a very exciting video because today I'm doing a book haul. So these are books that I've been collecting since my last book haul, which I think was in the summer. And I actually have kind of a shockingly big book haul. I was not expecting it to be this big, but today I have 18 books to haul since the summer and it's only November, so oops, but it's fine. I think, to be honest, I probably won't be buying many books for the rest of the year, but I'm really considering getting KU. I have been thinking about it for a long time. I always want to wait until I have a period of time where I'm gonna definitely be reading a lot, but that is actually, there's no guaranteed period of time when that's gonna happen, because even if I have free time, I might be in a reading slump. So I think I need to just bite the bullet and try a free trial and see how it goes. But yeah, I think I'm gonna try KU and then hopefully I won't buy as many books. But either way, next year I'm going to be starting a series where I'm trying to read all of my TBR, so look out for that. It's coming in January. But anyway, that's a lot of rambling. Let's just get into the book haul, shall we? I've separated this into sections. We have a romance section, a fantasy/fantasy romance section, and surprisingly enough, a classics section, which I did not think was going to be a thing that would ever happen on my channel, but here we are. Anyway, let's start with the little romance haul, shall we? So I have two books that I've already read and one book that I'm very excited to read, but I haven't got to it yet because this is the only romance book I have on my physical TBR, so I want to save it until I'm really like itching for a romance. So let's start with the two books that I've already read. So the first one is Heartless by Elsie Silver. This is the second book in the Chestnut Spring series. I read this back in July or August, I think, and to be honest, I didn't really like it very much. I think I gave it like 2 stars. It basically follows our main character Willa, and she is best friends with Summer, and Summer is the main character in the first book, and basically Willa needs a job and Summer's boyfriend's brother, Cade, he needs a babysitter. So Willa goes to live with him and be the babysitter for his 5-year-old son, and a romance ensues. There's a 13-year age difference, so they're like, no, we really shouldn't do this. Also, I just think that you're not responsible, so I don't want to date you, but I sure do want to fuck you. So yeah, that's what happens. That is the plot of this one. I didn't like it. I will probably unhold this one, to be honest, but I have bought it, so here you go. The next romance I have is Weather Girl by Rachel Lynn Solomon. I bought this specifically for a video because I couldn't get it anywhere and it was cheaper to buy it secondhand than it was to get it on Kindle, so I just bought it. And I've already read this one as well, but this basically follows our main character, Ari Abrams. She is a TV meteorologist, aka a weather girl, and basically she's having kind of a hard time at work because her boss is too busy fighting with her ex-husband, who is also a manager at this TV station. She is too busy fighting with her ex-husband to give Ari the attention and sort of mentorship that she deserves. So she ends up teaming up with Russell, who is a sports guy, and they are trying to parent trap their bosses. And while that's all going on, maybe they'll fall in love. And I won't go into my thoughts on this one because I will have talked about this in a video, or I will be talking about this in a video. So yeah, if that video is already up, I'll link it in the card. If not, wait and see. But yeah, I bought this. I read it. There you go. The last straight up romance book that I have is the one that I haven't read, and that is You Deserve Each Other by Sarah Hogle. You might not recognize this cover because I had never seen this cover before. I've only ever seen this cover before, but this is actually on my Goodreads TBR for quite a while, and then I went book shopping with my friend Evie, and she basically said to me, you need to read this. I think you're really gonna like it. And I'm not entirely sure what this one is about, beyond the fact that I think it's two people who end up having to get married even though they don't want to, which is a trope that I have been enjoying recently. However, I don't think I've seen it in a contemporary romance setting. I've seen it in films before, but not in a contemporary romance. I feel like that's more so in fantasy romance. However, let's read what it says on the back. Meet Naomi and Nicholas, the perfect couple. Their glorious, lavish wedding is coming up in 3 short months, and they are utterly, miserably sick of each other. Unfortunately, whoever backs out first will end up bearing the brunt of the wedding bill. When Naomi finds out that Nicholas has been feigning contentment too, they go head to head in a battle of sabotage, pranks, and all-out emotional warfare to see who can annoy the other into surrendering first. Now that they have nothing to lose, they're finally being themselves. In fact, they're having so much fun getting on each other's nerves that it starts to feel like something else entirely. This sounds like What Happens in Vegas, that movie with Cameron Diaz and Ashton Kutcher. I love that movie, so I'm excited. I didn't even refresh my memory on what this was about before I bought it. I just bought it because Evie said you have to. I'm excited to read this one when I feel like a contemporary romance. Who knows when that will be, but at some point, hopefully. This is my little romance stack. Now let's talk about the classics. So this is actually probably the biggest section, surprisingly. However, most of these books were actually gifts from my grandmother because I recently helped her go through all of her books in her library and we got rid of a bunch of stuff and I snatched one of these up and then the rest of them she just decided to give to me as a little gift, which is very kind of her. The first one I've got is The Celebrated Cases of Sherlock Holmes by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. I just love this edition. It's got like the gold edges and it looks like a really old book. I didn't even look at the end papers. Look at those end papers. Although this edition is actually from the 80s, so it's not as old as it looks. But it basically has The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, The Memoirs of Sherlock Holmes, and The Return of Sherlock Holmes. So it has all of the stories in this one bind-up. And yeah, it looks really good on my shelf, so I'm excited to have this. Anyway, the next lot of books that I got from my granny were the gift, and that is this adorable little box set of all of Jane Austen's works. How freaking cute is this? They're actually so tiny. Like, here's my face for like the height. It's like one Samantha face size. Very cute and small. But yeah, this has Emma, Pride and Prejudice, Sense and Sensibility, Mansfield Park, Northanger Abbey, and Persuasion, all in this little box set. She originally actually got this for somebody else and then they died, so she gave it to me. So I don't know if that's a bad omen or what, but I like to think it's not. It's just giving it a new life. She got these from the Jane Austen Museum in Bath, which I need to go visit ASAP. But yeah, it's like such a cute little box set, and they are illustrated as well. I haven't taken the plastic off yet because I don't want to, but I also do. Like, I want to actually look at the books, but for now I'm going to keep them in the plastic in the box until I'm ready to read them. In that same vein, in September I went book shopping with Evie, as I said, and I really wanted to rebuy a book by Jane Austen because I love it and my copy went moldy. So I picked up a copy of Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, and now I have 2 copies because obviously my grandmother just gave me these ones. But I love this edition. It's really cute. It's the Penguin English Library edition, and I think it's just so pretty. And I really love the look of the cloth bound editions as well, but apparently they do not hold up well. I actually prefer to have it in this beautiful paperback edition. I'll probably reread it and annotate it, so this is the perfect copy for that. And yeah, I'm very excited to have this on my shelf. I don't mind that I have 2 copies because I love Pride and Prejudice. I really love the 2005 adaptation. Actually, that's my favorite. Maybe not my favorite medium because this is probably my favorite medium, but it's the only version I've seen and I love it to death. And I actually walked down the aisle at my wedding to the song Dawn from the soundtrack. So if you know, you know. I did quote it in my vows. So yeah, I don't mind having another copy of that. That's fine. Anyway, now moving on to my fantasy section. So the first book that I have is one that I've already read, actually, but I had never owned it because I read it from the library, and then I bought the second book, but I didn't have this yet. Anyway, and it was actually in this clearance section because it's quite badly damaged, but that is Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. I really like this book. I had a really fun time with it. I will admit it is trash. It is not necessarily a good book, but for me last year it was like the perfect fun book that I needed at that time, and it was a 5-star read. So I really wanted to own it because I know I will reread it at some point, but it is pretty badly damaged, like on the spine there. Actually, that's the main damage, so it's not too bad, but this was £1 and I was like, well, I'm gonna take it because I don't really care if it's damaged because that just means I can annotate it and not feel bad about ruining like a perfect book. So I'm excited to own this one and to get it for such a steal. I'm so sorry I didn't tell you what this book is about. If somehow you don't know what this book is about, this is the romantasy book that took the world by storm last year. It basically follows our main character, Violet, and she has always wanted to be a scholar, follow in the footsteps of her father and become a scholar, but she is basically forced by her mother to join the War College, which basically trains people up to become dragon riders, and it's very dangerous and very risky. Her path crosses with Xaden, who is the son of the leader of the revolution, which was squashed. And now like the children of the revolutionaries are looked down upon a lot. So they should hate each other, but feelings start to grow. And I really like this one. As I said, it's fun, it's trash, but it's really fun. I don't really like the second book very much, but I will continue on with the series. And I am excited for Onyx Storm to come out next year. I think it's in January. So yeah, I'm excited for that. And hopefully because she took more time with it, it's better, because I think that was part of the problem with the second one. What's the second one called? I forgot what it's called and I can't see the title, but you know the second one. Okay, moving on, let's do the romantasy stuff now. So I also recently picked up Throne of the Fallen by Carrie Maniscalco. I am currently reading it, as you can see. And this is actually a spin-off standalone series, which takes place after the events of the Kingdom of the Wicked series, which I did not know when I bought this, which is kind of a shame because I think I definitely would have benefited from having that knowledge, having read the first series, but it's okay. I'm still like having a good time and I'm understanding things, but I think it's taking me a little bit longer because I don't have that previous knowledge, but it's okay. I'm still having a good time. This basically follows our main character Camilla, and she is a painter. It's set in sort of a Regency inspired setting, and basically she doesn't have any family anymore. She's not interested in getting married, which is in theory what she should do. She's kind of reaching like spinster age. She's 28, I think. And basically because she's a little bit desperate to be able to maintain herself and not have to get married, she does something a little bit stupid and ends up kind of screwing herself over, and her path crosses with Envy, who is one of the princes of sin in charge of like the 7 realms of the underworld, and he has his own ulterior motives for trying to court Camilla because he is basically taking part in this deadly game, and they have to work together and travel through the underworld to try to survive this game, and not only survive it, but it'll be beneficial to both of them if they're able to win. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. It is a sort of enemies to lovers situation, and I'm enjoying it. I'm definitely reading it very slowly, but I'm having a good time every time I pick it up, so it's good. I just wish I'd read The Kingdom of the Wicked first, but that's fine. The last romantasy, which I think is more so fantasy romance, but I'm not entirely sure, is Fear the Flames by Olivia Rose Darling. This follows our main character Elowen, and she basically lives in this world where they think that dragons no longer exist, but there are 5 eggs which were thought to be fossils which hatch, and they form a bond with Elowen, and her father is really concerned about this, so he ends up locking her away. And 5 years later she manages to escape, and she's trying to free her dragons, and she ends up having to team up with Caden Vels, who is the most feared and dangerous man in all the kingdoms and her father's sworn enemy. So they end up having to team up to try and defeat her father and free her dragons, and I think a little bit of a romance forms between them. But I feel like from this synopsis it seems like it's leaning more fantasy than romantasy, so that's what I'm hoping for, because sometimes you just need a break from romantasy. So either way, I think I'm gonna enjoy this and I'm excited to get to it. Also, the cover is so stunning. I'm excited to read it. I'm excited to own it. I'll let you know my thoughts once I've read it. The last 3 books that I have are all more just fantasy. One is more so mythology, so I'll start with that. That is Circe by Madeline Miller. I have been meaning to read this book for years, and I always thought I would just get it from the library, but with a cover this stunning, I was like, you know what? Let me just buy it. I don't really know what it's about beyond being a feminist retelling of the story of Circe. Don't really know what Circe's story is, although I believe that she's a witch. That's all I know from reading Percy Jackson, to be honest. That's where most of my Greek mythology knowledge comes from. Kind of embarrassing to admit, but there you go. Anyway, I'm really excited to own this and hopefully get to it at some point soon-ish. But either way, I'm excited to just own it so that I can read it when I finally feel like I should. Alright, the penultimate book that I've got is Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. I've been meaning to start this series for a really long time. I don't know what this one is about necessarily. I've heard about the whole series. I think it's 3 trilogies, which all in all make up a whole 9-book series. I've heard Reagan from Peruse Project talk about this series so much, and it's always really intrigued me. And I just love this cover so much. It's like such a classic fantasy cover, and I also like love the gold foiling. It also is like a really nice matte cover. I love it. Anyway, so I've been wanting to pick it up for a long time, and I saw it and I was like, you know what? Today's the day. I'm buying it. Have I started it? No. There's a bookmark in it, but that's just because it's like reminding me where I got it from because they gave me bookmarks. I have not started it. Let's read what it says on the back. The kingdom of the 6 duchies is on the brink of civil war when news breaks that the crown prince has fathered a bastard son and is shamed into abdication. The child's name is Fitz, and he is despised. Raised in the castle stables, only the company of the king's fool, the ragged children of the lower city, and his unusual affinity to animals provide Fitz with any comfort. To be useful to the crown, Fitz is trained as an assassin and to use the traditional magic of the Farseer family, but his tutor, allied to another political faction, is determined to discredit, even kill him. Ooh, Fitz must survive, for he may be destined to save the kingdom. That actually sounds so incredible. I don't know how I didn't know that that was the synopsis, but I am so intrigued. Like, that is just like bumped this way up on my TBR priority list. I don't think I'll be getting to it this year, but hopefully next year this is something I can tackle. And the last book that I have to haul is one that I'm very excited for. It's actually 2 books in one, and that is Theft of Swords by Michael J. Sullivan. This is the volume 1 of the Right Area Revelations, which is a series set after the Age of Myth series. Is that what that's called? I think that might just be the name of the first book, but whatever. That series basically takes place 1,000 years before this series. So you can read that one first, or you can read this first. And from my understanding, this one is a little bit sillier and like a little bit more of a fun time, and that one is a little bit more serious. But I actually looked up a reading order and it said from Michael J. Sullivan to start with this series. So this is the first 2 books of the series in one bind up, which is fabulous. I love it when that happens. It's getting 2 in 1. It's more bang for your buck. So yeah, I was deciding between getting this and Age of Myth, and I ended up getting this. So let's see what it's about. They killed the king. They pinned it on 2 men, but they chose poorly. Roy Smellworn, a skilled thief, and his mercenary partner, Hadrian Blackwater, make a profitable living carrying out dangerous assignments for conspiring nobles, until they are hired to pilfer a famed sword. What appears to be just a simple job finds them framed for the murder of the king and trapped in a conspiracy that uncovers a plot far greater than the mere overthrow of a tiny kingdom. Can a self-serving thief and an idealistic swordsman survive long enough to unravel an ancient mystery which has toppled kings and destroyed empires? And so begins a tale of treachery and adventure, sword fighting and magic, myth and legend. This sounds so good. I'm so excited to read this. Don't know when, but it will happen at some point. Oh, and actually he originally self-published these books, and then they were so popular that they got picked up by Orbit. So there you go. You learn something new every day. Do I dare try to hold all of the books? I think I dare. I think I dare. Should I have done this? No. Will these all topple? Potentially. This is not working. This is not working at all. These are the 18 books that I have acquired recently. I'm going to put them down before they crush me. That's a lot of books. But yeah, these are all the books that I have acquired in the last few months, and hopefully my last book haul of the year. Oh my god, I'm lying. I forgot a book. I actually have one more book to haul. It just hasn't arrived yet. But I recently purchased Malice by John Gwynne. I got this secondhand and it's on the way here because there's a read-along of the 2 series that are in the same universe, which I've forgotten what it's called. But anyway, there's a read-along starting in November. Becca in the Books is like organizing it, and I saw it on her channel and I've been meaning to read this book for a while, so I was like, you know what, why not? So I found it secondhand online, I've ordered it, and it's on its way here, but I don't have it yet, but I'm officially hauling it now. That's on its way. I will be reading that very soon so that I can hopefully keep up with that read along. I'm so bad at keeping up with read alongs, but cross your fingers for me. That's it. That's the last book. These are all of the books that I have acquired in the last few months. Hopefully there's not another one before the end of the year because I don't have any more shelf space. And I have a big TBR project coming, so I don't need the TBR to grow anymore. That would be a problem. But yeah, that is all that I have for this video. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, feel free to subscribe down below. And if you've made it this far, please tell me of any of these books that I haven't read, what I should prioritize. And also leave me a sailboat emoji down below for The Assassin's Apprentice. I know that there are ships involved. So yeah, leave me a sailboat down below so that I know that you made it to the end. But that is all that I have, so I'll see you very soon with another video. Bye! Oh, I can't reach. Just pretend like that covered properly. Oh, shit!